there, adventurers! I'm Dana and welcome to the Do It Like Dana series. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make my mom's sweet potato Haupia pie. If you're familiar with Ted's chocolate Haupia pie, this is a healthier version of it because it has sweet potato. And sweet potatoes are really good to promote gut health as well as providing lots of nutrients. There's 3 main layers to this dish: the crust, which consists of 3 ingredients and takes about 25 minutes to prep and then bake. The middle layer, which consists of 7 ingredients, and it's going to take about 45 minutes to prep and bake. And the last layer only consists of 4 ingredients, and it's going to take only 10 minutes to prep. So this is going to be a little bit longer of a recipe than something I'll normally share with you, about an hour and a half. But if you can master this, your friends are going to think that you're a professional baker. And with that being said, let's dive in. I've made this a couple of times for friends in the past, and it's such a huge hit that I wanted to make this video and share it with everybody. I'm using Okinawan sweet potato. Whenever I bake, I like to use something that's a little bit healthy in the dish. The ingredients that you'll need for the bottom layer: lots of butter, all-purpose flour, and sugar. For the second layer, you're going to need more sugar, Okinawan sweet potatoes, and I love the purple color, almond milk or any kind of milk of your choice, even evaporated milk if that's what you prefer. Some eggs, salt, vanilla extract. And then for the top layer, you're just gonna need water, sugar again, cornstarch, and coconut milk. First step would be to prep the sweet potatoes. You're just gonna need to wash them, peel them. 5 medium-sized potatoes will get you about the right amount that you need. Look at this color. Doesn't it look so gorgeous, this purple? So the way you wanna prepare the potatoes is you wanna steam it. The water is boiling. You can hear that. And then you're just gonna place it on top of this. Let it steam. It'll probably take 15 to 20 minutes, and we'll check back on that in a few minutes. Prep a 9 to 13 inch pan. I'm telling you this right now. Put olive oil or butter, something on the bottom of the pan right now, because you don't want to bake something and the crust sticks to it. It's a headache. So I recently read this article online, and it was saying one of the ways to achieve happiness is to experience sensations with friends. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really love cooking dinners and cooking in general for people and sharing it. It's because it is actually scientifically proven that when you are eating a meal with somebody, say it's a piece of chocolate, you're actually going to be happier when you're sharing that piece of chocolate with another person than when you ate it by yourself. Okay, so we're gonna need 3/4 cups of butter, or 1.5 to 2 blocks, and 4 tablespoons of sugar. That's what the recipe calls for, but I'm gonna split all of the sugar in half. And then we're gonna need 1 to 1.5 cups of flour. A little bowl to mix everything up. I'd say Kite Hill is probably one of my favorite vegan butter brands. It just tastes the most legitimate to me. The key to any good pastry: lots of butter. I love when the crust has this flaky texture on the bottom. It tastes so good. I think the key thing is just to not pack your measuring tool with flour and just loosely scoop it off the top, so that way you can get a more accurate measurement. We are going to hand cream this crust with a fork. So just get in there and smash the butter into the flour as much as you can, and it's gonna create this great crust. Now, if you are short on time and you want to save about 30 minutes, then I highly suggest that you go to a store and just buy the crust. It will save so much time, but it's kind of hard to find, at least in Hawaii, fully vegan crust. And I also just like the taste of homemade crust more. I think there's something the texture is really nice, and you can control how much sugar. Don't be like me and forget to put the sugar. If you like something a little bit more sweet, go ahead and put 4 tablespoons. But like I said, in this recipe, I'm gonna be doing everything in half. You'll just see it coming together, and it'll be a lot harder to press down, which is what you want. You can see it's looking like a crust. Next step is to get it into an even layer on this pan. You're gonna wanna flour your hands so that you have more control of the dough. And yeah, just spread it into thin and firm layer. It's gonna get a little messy for this part. That's why I'm saying, if you wanna save 30 minutes, totally understand that you want to buy a crust. Oh, I like it. Another variation that you can take on this crust, you can just like add walnuts. Once your crust is ready, you're gonna bake it for 20 to 25 minutes at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Another tool you'll need to complete this recipe is a beater. If you don't have one, you could also just use some pure human muscle. The recipe is now calling for 8 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of sugar. But like I said before, I'm just going to do half of the sugar. So I'm gonna use 1/2 cup. And then you're gonna mix it up. You're basically just creaming the butter and the sugar together. Before we move on, I'm gonna check on the potato. And oh wow, did you see how nicely that slid into the potato? These are definitely done. And you want to let that cool down. Better to work with cooler ingredients when you mix. So then you're gonna add 2 eggs and beat that. And you're just beating on the lowest setting. And for the friends who are watching this and saw that I added an egg, yes, I know it's not fully vegan. I was hardcore vegan back in 2020 and just over the years became a little bit more flexible. And yeah, I just wanted to say that I don't really have a label now on like how I eat. I think it's just more about conscious eating. And what we need next is to mash the potatoes. You're gonna get your favorite potato masher and you're gonna use your arm, your human strength to just mash those potatoes. And because they should be pretty soft already, shouldn't require too much arm strength. Now you're gonna mix in about 2 cups of the mashed sweet potato. You're just gonna gradually mix it into this delicious sugary delight, and just so it's evenly spread throughout. I like kind of having these like bigger chunks of potato when you're eating it, and that just like makes it feel really healthy. And I mean, it's not health, it's a dessert, so of course it's not gonna be like super healthy, but these chunks of potatoes definitely give it a more dense experience and making you more full as well. So maybe you'll eat less of it, or who knows, it's so delicious you just want to eat more of it, and because it has sweet potato, it's like, it's healthy, so let's eat more. That's my reasoning at least. So now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients, which is the evaporated milk or any kind of milk of your choice, vanilla, and salt. Calls for 1/2 cup of milk. I'm using California Farms almond milk, and I prefer the unsweetened one because, you know, you're already adding the sugar. 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then you just mix it up, and look how pretty this color is. This like, lavendery purple. How do you want to eat this even though it's not baked yet? I remember growing up, and one of my favorite things to do is my parents bought me this bin of plastic Velcro food. And so I had this entire, like this, imagine like the largest bin of tomatoes, avocados, lemon, and they were all like, they had plastic knives, plastic forks, plastic plates. It came in this huge set, and I would just pretend cooking, and when I would cut the vegetable in half with my plastic knife, the Velcro would split apart, and I had half a lemon, and I just was cooking that. Okay, the crust is ready. Oh my gosh, it looks so perfect. It looks so perfect. Okay, you're gonna let this cool for a little bit. It's easier for these layers to congeal when it's cooled down. So I'll probably let it cool down for about 10 minutes. So here's the baked crust. It's been 10 minutes, and when I touch it, it's cool to the touch. And what you wanna do next is pour the purple lava, the sweet potato mixture all over the baked crust. And make sure to get every single last bit on there. It should go on there pretty evenly, but just spread it out just in case. And then put the first and second layer back into the oven for 40 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The second layer has finished baking, and it looks like this. My mitten kind of ruined it there, but it looks good. Haupia time. Haupia is a typical Hawaiian dessert. So it's vegan, it's really easy to make. First off, what you want to do is you want to get the sugar and the coconut milk going. So to a pan, add a whole cup of coconut milk and add 4 to 6 tablespoons of sugar, and just stir to combine. And the temperature setting that I have it on is about 5 because we want to get it simmering. And then while that's heating up, we're going to combine 6 tablespoons of cornstarch with 3/4 cup of water. The cornstarch is going to thicken up the coconut milk and create the haupia. Heat up the pan a little bit more just to get it kind of like, we want to get it boiling and then bring it down when it does, and then it'll be a faster combination. When it does start to get a little bit more intense, what you're gonna do is you're gonna slowly combine scoop by scoop the cornstarch and water. And then you're gonna be constantly mixing. So this is kind of like a two-hand job here. I'm not left-handed, but I guess I will be for this part of the baking. So you can see some bubbles forming. I'm just gonna bring it down one. The whole idea of this is that it's going to start coming together and forming like a really solid jello, and that's like what you're going for. And this is only going to happen if you're constantly stirring. Okay, so you can already see that it's like pretty much done. So I would turn it off and remove it from the heat and let it cool down for about 2 minutes. And you want to make sure your second layer is cool too. So just keep stirring, because if you stop stirring, it's gonna get really sticky. You're gonna pour that Haupia layer all over the top into as much of an even, smooth layer as possible. Then you cover it up and then you put it in the fridge. Let it sit overnight, everything's gonna congeal together, and then it's ready to serve. Voila! And here's the final product. As you can see, the 3 layers, the crust, the sweet potato, and the Haupia. Let me know in the comments if you did it like Dana, and see you next time!